It is Friday, and boy, do we have a show for you guys. It is not only Friday, it is also Alito Day. The expiration of the stay for the ATF happens today, August 4th, and we are going to break down a few of the things that are leading into this, because not only did FPC lay out the gauntlet, they've also got losses coming in other departments through concurring opinions. This is going to be something you guys are going to want to watch. Make sure you share out this video and like, subscribe, and turn that notification bell on. And with that, Tim, man, I'm amped. This is going to be good. It's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be a good day. It's Alito Day. How are you?
It's good. It's Alito Day, and ATF is getting spanked yet again.
It's such a great day.
Yeah.
I mean, like, over the last few weeks, I've just have this vision playing out, Tim, and roll with me on this. ATF agent comes in, Solicitor General comes in, they're having a great Monday morning, they've got their paper, they sit down at their desk, they put their little world's best ATF agent mug on the table, they open up their email, and they're like, son of a...
Email from
Again?
FPC, yeah.
Email from FPC, CC SCOTUS. Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful vision, Tim.
Yeah.
It's just, I see it. What do you think the mug says? What do you think their mug says? I think world's best ATF agent. What do you think theirs says?
I think it says, I shot your dog.
Oh, man.
I had to go there. You left the door wide open.
I did. We had a great thing going. And now...
Beep, quack, quack.
Man, yeah. Just all the edits now. But I guess, we should just keep on going to what would make them open up and say, oh, man. Because first, you know what? Let's hit the concurring opinion, Tim, because you sent this to me and you love this. So let me read it and let's break it down, because I think there's a lot of goodness in here.
Yes.
This is something awesome. All right, let's get this. So this is from the Honorable Don R. Willett, Circuit Judge concurring. Now, this is in the pistol brace rule. This isn't even Vanderstock. This isn't even the ghost gun frames and receivers, all right? I join the majority's careful opinion in full measure. I write separately because I suspect that the final rule would likely fail constitutional muster, even if it were a logical outgrowth of the worksheet idea that preceded it. Rearward attachments, beside making a pistol less concealable, improve a pistol's stability and thus a user's accuracy. Accuracy, in turn, promotes safety. Even for attachments that convert a pistol into a rifle under the statutes, ATF has identified any historical tradition of requiring ordinary citizens to endure a lengthy, costly, and discretionary approval process just to use accessories that make an otherwise lawful weapon safer. And that was not identified, just to clarify. Instead, the NFA tends to regulate weapons that inflict indiscriminate destruction: machine guns, short-barreled rifles and shotguns, and smoothbore weapons, and for that matter, explosives, grenades, and poison gases. Weapons that begin as rifles, too, are more difficult to keep accurate once the barrel starts shrinking. There's so much in there, Tim.
Yeah. So basically what he said in that opinion is that the NFA is a joke, that the brace rule is a joke, and that really what they're promoting through banning braces and regulating SBRs is unsafe firearms handling forced by federal law. Because he's absolutely right. I mean, the brace is a safety device much like a suppressor is a safety device. And what he said in this opinion is that the NFA is pointless, worthless. He should have attacked the whole taxation of a right thing, but he didn't. But I'll give him a pass because it was a great write-up. But then he also went after the fact that, yeah, these pistols are generally unsafe unless you stabilize them, hence stabilizing brace. It's a safety feature. Are you telling me that you want to pass a law making guns less safe when your entire shtick is it will just save one life and it's common sense safety measures? I mean, he just gutted their argument so tactfully. I hope this thing gets plastered on the walls of the Supreme Court. Like framed and hung up in there, because...
Framed in like a place of honor?
Yeah. I mean, it was he's so spot on. I mean, he just basically gutted the whole premise that the NFA serves some grand purpose of public safety when it doesn't.
Yeah. He not only did he do that, he also invoked the Bruin decision.
Oh, yes.
He also attacked every single conversation that every single anti-gunner has been on their little hive mind memos, their little email chain. Exact phrasing, verbiage is all about safety. It's all about common sense safety. He just threw it out the window with this. Yep. And this is all pistol brace. I love this concurring opinion. And that was a circuit judge in the Fifth Circuit, which, as you guys know, basically just slapped the ATF twice in a row. They gave him both butt cheeks. Just
yeah.
Yeah, it's Friday. What's a Friday without mentioning some butt cheeks, Tim? So I'm just saying, So you know what I think? I think would really set the people off on Alito Day in the right direction. I think we should read some of this FPC goodness because they laid down some backhands in this opinion or in this brief going to the SCOTUS. So, Mr. Producer, this is number one. So this is in the Merrick v. Garland versus Vanderstock case. Just to set this table, this is the ghost gun, what they call the ghost gun, or the frames and receivers rule. This is the thing that's been having a hard time, which actually inspired Alito Day today. So, as we continue, let's go to number two. Let's just start this off because there's some really sweet stuff in here. The district court was correct to hold that in expanding the definition of firearm in these ways, ATF exceeded its statutory authority. Indeed, by seeking to bring within its purview items that facilitate the making of firearms by private citizens for their own use, ATF has sought to fundamentally alter the policy choices made by Congress in 1968, and those policy choices are for Congress, not ATF, to make. That's the crux of the argument. Mm-hmm. That's beautiful.
Yes. And it's absolutely true. So for those of you that are unaware, I'll just kind of briefly go over this. But when Congress passes a law, naturally there's going to be ambiguities within the law. There's things that they want to address but perhaps didn't address, or things they didn't think of when they drafted and passed the law that come to light later. So they hand the law off to a bureaucracy, one of the alphabet agencies, and their job is to manage the law, if you will. And then the government gave itself something called Chevron deference, which means, well, we can just take a look at the law that Congress passed, and then we can apply reasonable rules to that and make alterations to it and pass these rule changes that enhance the effectiveness of the law, right? In the spirit of the law. But the problem is it never follows the spirit of the law. Many times it goes against the spirit of the law. And sometimes, as I've pointed out in the past, you have congressmen that go to ATF and say, hey, we passed this law banning armor-piercing handgun ammunition, not rifle ammo. Now you're trying to take away M855 ball and 5.45 imports with steel penetrators. Rifle rounds, that violates the spirit of the law we passed. Please don't do this, ATF. And ATF looks at their letter and goes, yeah, don't care. Anyway, we're going to ban 5.45 from import. We did get around the M855 because people complained about it, but they went ahead and did that along with 7.62x39 and others. So routinely, these agencies go out there, ignore the spirit of the law. They've even been warned by the people that wrote the law and passed the law that they're violating the spirit. They throw that out the window, do whatever the heck they want. And we're supposed to sit by and go, oh yeah, that's fine. No. The problem is when you want to change the nature of a law and add penalties to the law, change what the law governs, then that needs to go back to Congress and let our elected representatives, which we have accountability over through the election process, to vote on it and make changes. If they do something we don't like, we vote them out of office. When you have a bureaucracy doing this, they have lifetime appointments and job guarantees. It's almost impossible to fire a government employee. They can do whatever they want. There's no accountability. You don't even know the name of the person that made the change to the law. And now you're sitting in prison for 10 years because you had a brace you purchased legally at a gun store that they just decided arbitrarily the other day, well, you know what? We don't want that anymore. So now you can go to prison for 10 years for having that. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. I'm on a rant.
No. I was about to actually say that was a Tim rant in the wild. That wasn't even planned.
No.
Anyone watching this episode caught one. Those are great. They don't happen all the time, but when they do, man, they get spinning up and they're like a little tempest right there. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Anyway.
But there's more goodness. Good. There's more goodness. I think those are great points because, that's actually the reason that the SCOTUS just decided to take up a case around Chevron deference. Mm-hmm. That's the entire point. The entire doctrine of Chevron deference is going to be relitigated at the SCOTUS next term.
Yeah.
That's going to be so much fun, by the way. Oh, I'm so amped. But there's even more because FPC, being FPC, didn't just stop at, hey, this is how you violated the law. They also started dismantling the arguments in the brief. Check this out. This is replying directly to the ATF's assertions in their brief to SCOTUS. Okay, so this is like the response. In 2021, there were 19,273 suspected privately made firearms submitted for tracing compared to 460,024 firearm trace results overall. That's a 4.19%, Tim. 4.19%. And it's a massive economic problem.
Yes, that's huge. Unbelievable.
And they even go in, dude, in this brief, they even go into the obliterated serial numbers and they basically say, hey, by the way, you're counting this, which is not okay. It's a masterful brief. I loved it. It was so great.
Yeah.
So 4%, Tim.
4%.
4%.
If we just save one life. Just one.
Only one of them. Only one of them.
We'll ban everything on the planet if we can just save just one life.
Except the ones we don't want, which inconvenience us. Anyway, awkward conversation. Different topic, different time, different channel. Let's go to number 4, Mr. Producer, before we get in trouble. So now, to the extent that there is any problem caused by the products at issue in this case, the proper entity to deal with that problem is Congress. Again, we're reiterating something, and this is the important piece. This is why I find this so fascinating, Tim, is ATF is going down the road of, well, I mean, take the case of a bicycle. If you put pedals on it or you don't put pedals on it, I mean, that's a concern. And it's ergo frames and receivers. Ergo no touchy. But FPC is being very disciplined in their approach. They open up with ATF can't make laws. They're making laws whole cloth, and they're sticking to the point. Mm-hmm. They even go after the bicycle analogy in this response. So I didn't bring it into this video, but the whole point is they're sticking to the entire crux of the problem. The ATF and the DOJ and the Solicitor General are trying to make it all about safety and all these numbers and all the proliferation of guns and all these ancillary things, but they're ignoring and not answering the fact that ATF cannot make law whole cloth. That's why I think this is so powerful.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully the judges will take a look at that and not be, distracted by ATF's, really poorly executed diversionary attempts here to redefine the conversation and cover their tracks. Yeah, and bicycles.
But bicycles.
I mean, what is it with these people in bicycles and cars? It's
I don't know.
I don't know.
Legitimately, so we haven't done an episode on this yet, but so this is the FPC response. Well, the ATF got a hold of the FPC response on Wednesday night, and on Thursday they crafted another response. So they basically ping-ponged the ball back with the briefs to the SCOTUS before the deadline. They actually doubled down back on the bicycle idea in comparison. They actually really like that bicycle one. It's really it really seems to be in the memos. But we'll hit that for another time.
Wish I could have been a fly on the wall in the discussion in the ATF offices over that one. No, I really like the bicycle analogy. Me too. I think it's great.
Bicycle's good.
Can I get another latte, please? Yes. Hurry up! I got to dye my hair purple at noon. We got to go. Come on.
Not the hair purple. Yeah. Not on a timetable. That's the worst.
We got to save one life. Come on, people. One life. We got one life to save before noon.
Oh, are you going to the abortion hearing? No. Anyway, awkwards. Oh, you got to get away from it again. Number 5, Mispreduced. I got more goodness. Oh, goodness. Tim, you're going to love this one.
Oh, boy.
ATF may not first identify an issue it wants to address, and second, redefine terms in a statute so as to reach that problem, if doing so impermissibly exceeds the scope of the statute. By contrast, of course, ATF is free to consider making appropriate new rules that respect the limits set on its authority by Congress. I love that so much.
Yeah.
You can't identify a problem, then come up with a solution for the problem through redefinition. However, you feel free to please litigate within your bounds provided by Congress. Like, how do you insult somebody
that was
in
pretty
nice,
insulting.
Flowery language? It's so insulting.
It is.
It's just.
But
it's
so
done in a very classy way.
If you don't follow FPC on Twitter, you have to, because their posts are gold. Most organizations are, very buttoned up, right? Like, take GOA. Everything is very buttoned up, very professional, right? And there's a certain, that's a tactic, right? That's a certain way to present yourself outwardly, right? FPC takes a more modern tact, shall we say? So they routinely cuss out the ATF on Twitter. They routinely insult them directly, and they don't pull their punches, and they have foul mouths, and they are hysterical.
It is fun. It is really funny to see. My personal favorite on that account is the memes that they come up with, and the answer is so simple. It's just 3 words. I can't say on YouTube, but it really is some funny stuff. It really is some great stuff. But you know what, Tim? I don't think we've really landed this plane what FPC was trying to do. Why don't we go with the conclusion? That's a nice summation. This is number 6, Mr. Producer. So in this conclusion, the court should deny the government's petition. Okay. In the alternative, the court should be at a minimum limit the stay to individuals and entities that were not covered by the preliminary injunctions entered in this case. That's a big part. In the final alternative, if the court orders a full stay, it should grant certiorari before judgment. August 2nd, respectfully submitted, FPC. I love that conclusion so much because they straight up go, you shouldn't do this. It's dumb.
Yeah.
It's just, we shouldn't do it. But if you're gonna, we should go ahead and extend the original stay to everyone in the United States.
which is only reasonable.
I love it.
I don't get how
total sense.
You can just join a group and then that group is protected from government action when other people who don't belong to that group aren't. I mean,
bro,
since when is that how this country is supposed to work?
When is that a thing? So here's the way I see this going two ways. And you talk about being, and I am not affiliated with FPC in any way. Fair warning, disclaimer.
Yeah, neither of us.
You talk about being, yeah, that's right. I'm gonna leave him out in the dust. No, neither one of us are. So if you talk about being in the catbird seat, let's just war game this out a little bit. If you're FPC, if you are FPC and you secure the victory for everyone in the nation through this lawsuit, FPC membership's going through the roof. 100% is going through the roof because you have the victory banner, you have the scalp that you can hang and be like, "Woo! Look what we did!"
Right.
And then if they do issue a stay, and it's only FPC members, then they're going to get even more members because everyone wants to be part of the stay.
Yeah, but that all depends on how the court proceeds because the court can say, only members that were members before the stay was granted.
Man,
you can't just get a stay and then everybody can, after the stay, go, oh, look, I can get excluded from the law and I'm going to go join this FPC. That's why this
it
whole,
worked before.
I know. That's why this is so ridiculous that a court would say, oh, yeah, only this group that you have to pay to be a member of is protected in their rights. To me, that's completely asinine.
And it's not only FPC.
Well, no, because other groups also sued and got other injunctions, GOA and SAF and other groups. But the point, and then NRA tried to write in on our court cases, 100%. And the judge said, no, NRA, you're drunk, go home. File your own lawsuit. And so they're like, shucks, spoiled.
And they did.
Yeah. And they did, and it's gone nowhere, and they still don't have an injunction. But anyway, I just don't. I don't get in a free country, presumably free country. I think we rate like 14th in the world in freedom. But I know it's painful to read. But how is it possible that you have to pay to be part of a group to have your rights protected? I mean, the judge just sort of said, yeah, injunction across the country. We got to get this sorted out. So this has got to stop. I wish somebody would sue to stop this practice of granting groups permission, injunctions to preserve their rights while we settle things in court versus the entire darn country. There's so many people out there that don't even know this is going on right now. They went and bought their braced pistol 5 years ago at their local gun store. It was hanging on the wall and perfectly legal. And they don't sit and live on the internet like most of us do that, record these videos and watch these videos. And they have no idea that this is even taking place. They have no idea that they're in possession of an illegal SBR in the eyes of the government. They have no idea any of this is going on. And they're going to wind up in prison when some overzealous police officer finds them at a local range shooting the gun they purchased legally at a gun store. It's just, they should be protected. They shouldn't have to go join a group and live in the news cycle to figure out that, oh my gosh, I'm having my life destroyed right in front of my eyes by the U.S. government. Sorry. Is that another one?
Does that count? Two Tim rants? Was that two Tim rants and one filming?
I had too much coffee
You better be careful. Bro, well, first of all, you get more coffee more often. But second of all, you got to be careful. If you get to 3, I'm pretty sure meteors start coming in.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's the way that it works.
All right.
But I think that was a good summation. I think that was, very, very legit. It turns out when you go on Tim rants, it's louder and it's more animated, but it's very on point.
I try.
That's exactly. I try my best.
I do.
No, legit, you nailed it. You nailed it with the first one with the arbitrary banning of items, whatever they wanted, and then you nailed that one. Why should people have exclusivity on rights that other people don't have? Because the ATF decided to randomly won a victory because the Biden administration told them to do it. And they're in this court system tied up for years. They even said in the new brief from the ATF, this will take years, so why should we give brace exemption to everybody? Because you're unconstitutional, go home.
And drunk.
But and drunk. And drunk. What's in that world's best ATF coffee mug? You have, you know what? You said it well. I'm not even going to reiterate. Well done.
Thank you.
You get the gold star today. Definitely.
Yeah. And you're asking what's in the ATF cup? Probably some Kentucky moonshine that they took from some guy that lives in Kentucky, and then they took it home and shared it with all their friends and family. Like, check this stuff out. We confiscated this yesterday. It's so good on my coffee. Let's infringe on somebody's rights.
You are getting so close to a meteor strike right now.
I just want to say that I'm not suicidal.
Oh my God. No. Wrap it up. We're going down a road.
If I disappear tomorrow, I love my life. Everything's going great. There's no reason for me. And God.
You need to wrap us up before we get fired.
Okay. No Epstein references in this one. All right, guys, we're gonna keep an eye on this one. This should prove to be interesting, I would imagine. I mean, at one point we were talking about how slow the courts moved. Well, that goes right out the window because they apparently are moving very quickly on this one, on the brace issue and on the frames and receivers issue. So we're gonna keep our finger on the pulse of this one when things change, which they inevitably will in the next few weeks. I'm assuming we'll bring you another episode. If you'd like to be part of our call-in show, there's a link in the video description below. Follow that link. We'll get you on the show. We'll have a great conversation. Thank you for watching. We'll talk to you guys soon.